We live in a world obsessed with the pursuit of happiness. We chase success, money, relationships, always striving for that elusive feeling of fulfillment. But what if I told you that happiness isn't something you find outside yourself? What if it's not a destination but a journey? Many of us spend our lives climbing ladders only to realize we've leaned them against the wrong wall. We achieve our goals, yet a nagging feeling of emptiness persists. We accumulate possessions, but true contentment remains out of reach. The ancient Chinese philosophers, masters of wisdom and introspection, understood this paradox. They recognized that true happiness isn't found in external validation or fleeting pleasures, but in cultivating inner peace, balance, and purpose. Over the next few chapters, I want to share 10 profound lessons from Chinese philosophy that have the power to transform your perspective on happiness. By embracing these timeless principles, you can unlock a deeper sense of joy, fulfillment, and meaning in your life. A few years ago, I found myself at a crossroads. On the surface, my life seemed perfect. I had a successful career, a loving family, and all the material comforts I could ask for. But beneath the veneer of success, I felt a persistent sense of unease. I woke up each morning with a knot of anxiety in my stomach, driven by an insatiable desire for more. More accomplishments, more recognition, more things. I was trapped in a relentless cycle of striving and never truly arriving. It was an exhausting way to live. I was constantly chasing the next milestone, the next promotion, the next dopamine hit. But no matter how much I achieved, it was never enough to fill the void within. I knew I couldn't continue down this path. I craved a deeper sense of purpose, a more sustainable form of happiness. Little did I know, the answers I sought were hidden within the wisdom of the ancients. As I immersed myself in the teachings of Lao Tzu, Confucius, and other ancient masters, I felt a profound sense of resonance. Their words seemed to speak directly to my soul, offering insights that were both timeless and timely. One particular passage from the Tao Te Ching, the foundational text of Taoism, struck a chord within me. Nature does not hurry, yet everything is accomplished. This simple yet profound statement challenged my entire approach to life. I had always believed that happiness was something to be achieved through relentless striving and busyness. But here was Lao Tzu, suggesting that true fulfillment lay in aligning ourselves with the natural rhythms of life, in embracing a more effortless and harmonious way of being. This realization was a turning point in my journey. It marked the beginning of a shift from a mindset of scarcity and striving to one of abundance and acceptance. I began to understand that my relentless pursuit of happiness was, ironically, the very thing preventing me from experiencing it. By constantly chasing after external validation, I was neglecting the one place where true happiness resides, within. The ancient Chinese philosophers taught that happiness is not a destination but a state of being. It's not something we find but something we cultivate through our thoughts, actions, and relationships. This realization was incredibly liberating. It meant that I was not a victim of my circumstances but rather the architect of my own happiness. I had the power to choose joy in each moment regardless of external conditions. Inspired by this newfound wisdom, I embarked on a journey of self-discovery and transformation. I began to incorporate ancient practices like mindfulness, meditation, and gratitude into my daily life. And slowly but surely, I began to experience a deeper sense of peace, joy, and fulfillment than I had ever thought possible. Imagine this. You're tirelessly striving for happiness, chasing after it like a finish line you can cross. But what if I told you that happiness isn't a destination, but a state of being? That's the profound realization I had when I delved into the wisdom of ancient Chinese philosophy. Think about it. We often condition ourselves to believe that happiness is something we achieve once we tick off certain boxes in life, a successful career, a loving partner, a beautiful home. But the truth is, even when we attain these things, that feeling of fulfillment can be fleeting. This pursuit of external validation can lead us down a never-ending path of desire and disappointment. We become so fixated on what we lack that we fail to appreciate the beauty and abundance already present in our lives. The ancient Chinese philosophers recognized this human tendency and offered a different perspective, one that emphasizes inner cultivation over external acquisition. It's about finding contentment within ourselves, regardless of our circumstances. One quote that truly resonated with me was from Lao Tzu, the founder of Daoism. "He who conquers others is strong. He who conquers himself is mighty." These words struck a chord within me. I realized that my quest for happiness was misguided. I was so busy trying to control external factors that I neglected the one thing I had true power over, my own mind. It was a profound realization that shifted my entire perspective. True strength, I discovered, lies in mastering ourselves, our thoughts, our emotions, and our desires. This isn't about suppressing our feelings or ignoring challenges. It's about cultivating a sense of inner peace and resilience that allows us to navigate life's ups and downs with grace and equanimity. It's about recognizing that true happiness stems not from external circumstances but from within. This shift in thinking marked a turning point in my journey. I began to understand that lasting happiness wasn't about chasing fleeting pleasures but cultivating a deep sense of contentment and fulfillment from within. It was about aligning myself with a purpose greater than myself. Lesson 1. The essence of contentment. The first lesson that resonated deeply with me was the concept of contentment. In a world that constantly bombards us with messages of more is better and never settle, finding contentment may feel counterintuitive. But the ancient Chinese philosophers believed that true happiness lies in appreciating what we have, rather than constantly striving for what we lack. It's about cultivating a deep sense of gratitude for the present moment, regardless of our circumstances. Think about it. How often do we take the time to truly appreciate the simple things in life? The warmth of the sun on our skin, the sound of laughter, the taste of a delicious meal. We often get so caught up in the pursuit of future goals that we forget to savor the beauty and abundance that already surrounds us. Cultivating contentment isn't about settling for mediocrity. It's about shifting our focus from what's missing to what's already present in our lives. Zhuangzi, a prominent Taoist philosopher, taught that true freedom comes from accepting life as it is, rather than resisting it. He believed that struggling against the natural flow of life only creates unnecessary suffering. Imagine a small stream flowing effortlessly down a mountainside. Now imagine that same stream encountering a large boulder blocking its path. The water doesn't fight against the rock, it simply flows around it, adapting to the obstacle and continuing its journey. This is the essence of contentment, accepting what is, letting go of our need to control everything, and finding peace within the present moment. It's about recognizing that life is a series of ever-changing experiences, and true happiness lies in embracing the journey, not just the destination. I began incorporating this principle into my daily life by practicing gratitude, not just a superficial, counting my blessings kind of gratitude, but a deep, heartfelt appreciation for the small joys and everyday miracles that often go unnoticed. Lesson 2. Detach from outcomes. So, we've talked about finding contentment in the present moment, but how do we apply that to our goals and aspirations? It's easy to get caught up in the desire for a certain outcome, to fixate on the end result. We tell ourselves, I'll be happy when I achieve this, or life will be better once I have that. But the truth is, happiness doesn't exist solely at the finish line. It's found in the journey itself. Confucius, the renowned Chinese philosopher, wisely said, "The man who moves a mountain begins by carrying away small stones." Think about that for a second. Instead of becoming overwhelmed by the enormity of a task, shift your focus to the small, manageable steps you can take each day. When we break down our goals into smaller milestones, we create a sense of accomplishment with each step forward. This progress, no matter how small, fuels our motivation and keeps us moving forward. We begin to find joy in the act of striving and the process of learning and growing rather than solely focusing on the destination. Remember, life is not a race to the finish line, it's a journey meant to be savored. So find joy in the small victories, celebrate your progress, and remember that each step you take, no matter how small, brings you closer to your goals. Now, I understand that detaching from outcomes can be easier said than done. We live in a world that often glorifies instant gratification and overnight success. But the ancient wisdom of Chinese philosophy teaches us a different approach. It encourages us to cultivate a mindset of non-attachment, to let go of our rigid expectations and embrace the unfolding of life as it comes. Think about it like this. When we cling too tightly to a specific outcome, we create unnecessary suffering for ourselves. If things don't go according to our plan, we experience disappointment, frustration, even anger. But when we loosen our grip and allow ourselves to be open to different possibilities, we create space for growth, learning, and unexpected opportunities. This doesn't mean we shouldn't have goals or aspirations. It simply means we should approach them with a sense of gentle determination. We pour our hearts into our endeavors. We strive for excellence, but we also accept that the final outcome is not always entirely within our control. By detaching from the outcome, we free ourselves from the burden of expectation and open ourselves up to the beauty of the present moment. This is where true happiness resides, in the process of becoming, in the journey of life itself. Lesson 3. Find balance in all things. One of the most fundamental concepts in Chinese philosophy is that of yin and yang, the idea that seemingly opposite forces are interconnected and interdependent. It's a beautiful representation of the duality we encounter in life. Light and darkness, joy and sorrow, activity and rest. Often we strive for one side of the spectrum, chasing happiness while resisting sadness, pursuing success while fearing failure. But the wisdom of yin and yang teaches us that these seemingly opposing forces are not meant to be separated. They are two sides of the same coin, each essential for the other's existence. Think about it. Without darkness, we wouldn't appreciate the light. Without sadness, we wouldn't fully experience the depths of joy. And without rest, our periods of activity would lack balance and sustainability. True harmony, according to this ancient wisdom, lies in finding the balance between these seemingly opposite forces. Life is a continuous dance between these polarities. When we embrace this natural rhythm, we stop resisting the inevitable ups and downs and learn to flow with the ebb and flow of life's experiences. So how do we apply this principle of yin and yang in our daily lives? It starts with recognizing and accepting that life is a tapestry woven with both light and dark threads. There will be moments of joy, excitement, and fulfillment, but there will also be times of sadness, disappointment, and loss. Instead of fearing or resisting the more challenging emotions, try to embrace them as an integral part of the human experience. Acknowledge their presence, allow yourself to feel them fully, and then, just like the passing of seasons, trust that they too will eventually fade. Remember, it's in those moments of darkness that we often discover our greatest strength and resilience. It's through facing and overcoming challenges that we grow and evolve as individuals. And it's by embracing the full spectrum of human emotions that we live a more authentic and meaningful life. So, the next time you find yourself facing a difficult situation, try to see it through the lens of yin and yang. Recognize that this moment, however challenging, is a part of the natural flow of life. Embrace the duality of your experience, and trust that even in the darkest of times there is always light to be found. Lesson 4. Live simply. In today's world, we're bombarded with messages that tell us we need more to be happy, more possessions, more achievements, more experiences. But the ancient Taoists believed that true happiness lies in simplifying our lives, in stripping away the unnecessary and focusing on what truly matters. Think about it. When our lives are cluttered, both physically and mentally, our energy becomes scattered. We're pulled in countless directions, constantly bombarded with distractions that prevent us from experiencing peace and contentment. But when we simplify, we create space for clarity, focus, and inner peace. Imagine waking up in a clean, organized space, free from clutter and distractions. Your mind is clear, your energy is focused, and you're able to approach your day with intention and purpose. This is the power of simplicity. It allows us to reconnect with ourselves, with our values, and with the things that bring us true joy. Simplicity isn't about deprivation, it's about conscious living. It's about making intentional choices about what we allow into our lives, both physically and mentally, so we can focus on what truly matters. So how do we begin to simplify our lives? It can feel overwhelming at first, but remember the wise words of Confucius. The man who moves a mountain begins by carrying away small stones. Start by identifying one area of your life that feels cluttered or overwhelming. It could be your physical space, your digital world, your schedule, or even your mind. Once you've identified an area to simplify, start small. If it's your physical space, begin by decluttering one drawer, one shelf, or one room. If it's your digital world, unsubscribe from unnecessary emails, organize your files, or limit your social media consumption. As you begin to declutter your external world, you'll find that your internal world begins to clear as well. You'll have more mental space for creativity, reflection, and connection with loved ones. Remember, simplicity is not a destination, it's a continuous journey. There will be times when you feel more cluttered than others, and that's okay. The key is to cultivate an awareness of what brings you peace and joy, and to make conscious choices that align with those values. Lesson 5. The power of connection. We often think happiness is about achieving a certain level of success, a certain income, or a certain lifestyle. But the ancient Chinese philosophers teach us something different. They teach us that true happiness is found in our relationships. Confucius, one of the most influential Chinese philosophers, placed great emphasis on the importance of family and friendships. He believed that strong, healthy relationships are essential for a fulfilling life. And you know, modern science actually backs this up. Studies have shown time and again that people with strong social connections tend to be happier, healthier, and even live longer. So, how do we cultivate these meaningful connections? It starts with prioritizing them. In our busy lives, it's easy to let relationships fall by the wayside. We get caught up in work, commitments, and the endless pursuit of more. But we have to remember that investing in our relationships is investing in our own happiness. Make time for the people who matter most. Have those deep conversations. Be present with them. Offer your support. Remember, true happiness isn't something we achieve in isolation. It's something we cultivate together. For a long time, I was so focused on achieving external success that I neglected my relationships. I was constantly chasing the next promotion, the next big project, the next material possession. But it left me feeling empty. It wasn't until I shifted my focus from external validation to internal connection that I truly started to experience happiness. I began prioritizing quality time with my loved ones. I made a conscious effort to be more present in my interactions. I put down my phone, listened attentively, and engaged fully in conversations. And slowly but surely, I felt a shift within me. My relationships deepened, and I felt a sense of belonging and connection that I had never experienced before. The pursuit of happiness is not a selfish endeavor. It's about recognizing that our happiness is intertwined with the happiness of those around us. When we prioritize our relationships, we create a ripple effect of positivity that extends far beyond ourselves. So take a moment to reflect on your own relationships. Are you investing enough in them? Are you showing up as your most authentic self? Remember, true happiness is not found in isolation, it's found in connection. Lesson 6, Your Journey to Happiness. We've explored 5 powerful lessons from ancient Chinese philosophy, each offering a unique perspective on cultivating happiness. From finding contentment in the present moment to embracing the balance of life, these teachings provide a roadmap to a more fulfilling and joyful existence. But the journey to happiness is deeply personal. What resonates with one person may not resonate with another. And that's okay. The key is to find what works for you. What practices, what beliefs, what actions bring you closer to that sense of inner peace and contentment. As you reflect on these lessons, I invite you to consider the biggest obstacle you face on your own journey to happiness. What's holding you back from experiencing true joy and fulfillment? Is it the constant pursuit of more? Is it the fear of failure? Is it the weight of past experiences? Identifying our obstacles is the first step towards overcoming them. By acknowledging what's holding us back, we can begin to release its grip and move forward with more clarity and purpose. So take a moment to sit with yourself and ask, what's one thing that's preventing me from experiencing true happiness? Your story matters. Your experiences, your challenges, your triumphs, they all shape who you are and how you navigate the world. And by sharing your story, you have the power to inspire and uplift others. In the comments below, I encourage you to share your biggest struggle when it comes to happiness. What are you grappling with? What lessons have resonated with you so far? Your vulnerability can create a ripple effect, encouraging others to do the same. Remember, you're not alone on this journey. We all face challenges, we all experience setbacks, but we can learn and grow from each other's experiences. By sharing our stories, we create a community of support, understanding, and hope. Your voice has the power to make a difference. So don't be afraid to share your truth. You never know who might need to hear your story today. Outro. If you've ever felt lost or uncertain on your path to happiness, know that you are not alone. The wisdom of ancient Chinese philosophy reminds us that happiness isn't something we chase relentlessly, it's something we cultivate within ourselves day by day, through mindful practices and conscious choices. If this video resonated with you, if even one of these ancient secrets sparked something within you, please give it a like. It truly helps the channel grow and reach others seeking a path to a more fulfilling life. For more content on ancient wisdom for modern living, hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss an episode. Remember, happiness isn't a destination, it's a way of being. Until next time, stay present, stay grateful, and keep growing.